right. Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. And I've had the privilege of being Mitch's younger brother my entire life. I actually kind of started thinking about this speech a while ago. I had a note in my phone from July of last year when our family was all out to dinner, and the topic of conversation came to Molly and marriage for some reason. And Mitch said, he told us, I could see me and Molly getting married in a year and a half. And he said, Mitch, that's a pretty specific timeline. Where'd you come up with that? And he said, 2 years just sounded like too long. Glad you don't have to wait anymore. But Mitch and I were 3 years apart, and I think he and I would both tell you we're pretty different people. But despite that, Mitch and I did absolutely everything growing up together. We spent days playing PlayStation 2, playing in the backyard. We were aspiring movie producers together for a long time. We put out dozens of these movies with our Legos that are still out there on YouTube somewhere. And we had a lot of great memories growing up. And through all these times, being around Mitch so much, he really taught me a lot, like a good big brother does. So tonight I just wanted to kind of share some of the things that I've learned from being Mitch's younger brother through all these years. And first off, I think the first thing anyone notices with Mitch is how he's always smiling and his positivity, through everything in life. And you might be wondering if that's just, if he has a smile on some of the time, but no, it's literally all the time. He was smiling. Me and Mitch, my sister Sydney, we used to all get up at the same time every morning, like grade school through high school, and eat breakfast together. My sister and I were not morning people at all. And Mitch would come down in the morning, that smile on his face, like, "Hey guys, how'd you sleep? What are you doing today?" But I mean, it was great. And, now we also, when Mitch and I are back for the summers now, and we're doing our respective things during the year, we like to play a lot of golf. And, golf is probably the most frustrating game there is out there. It's very easy not to be positive about that. But Mitch is by far the happiest golfer I've ever seen in my life. We call him Mitch 8-iron Greene because he hits probably half his shots with the same club as 8-iron. And he'll hit a good shot or even kind of a good shot and he'll have the club in the air, yes, celebrating. He's the most positive person I've seen in a game where it's very easy to not be positive at all. I think the other cool thing, it's not just around his friends and family and, people here tonight where he has that smile on, when Mitch meets a stranger, or anyone really, he still has that same smile and positivity, which I think is really admirable. Another thing Mitch has taught me about is persistence. Being his younger brother, I got to watch all his activities and everything he did growing up. Whether it was cross country, he was in the marching band for 4 years. And there were plenty of things Mitch did that were definitely not his favorite. I think his season spent wrestling and hip-hop dancing come to mind first. You can imagine Mitch doing a coffee grinder. But no matter how much Mitch didn't like any of these things, he never ever quit. Mitch finished his season of wrestling out to the end. Everything Mitch has ever done in his life, he's finished it all the way. And another good story about this. Once back when we were in high school, Mitch and I were home alone together, and somewhere we started talking about who was the faster runner. And so then we were like, all right, let's race right now. So Mitch and I went outside, and it was probably like midnight, 1 a.m., and we raced around the pond in our neighborhood together. So we were running, we were neck and neck most of the time. We were running through sprinklers and stuff. It was early in the morning. We were at 100 yards left to our driveway, and then Mitch all of a sudden just took off. And he always had this same thing in cross country. He always had this little kick in at the end. Always left a little of the tank, and he beat me that day. And that's just Mitch, because everything he does, he goes all the way through the finish line in life. And I think there was also some persistence involved in landing his first date with Molly, if I remember correctly. Might not know the whole story, but I think there were some Facebook messages that were going one way, maybe not the other for a while. But again, you can see today Mitch's persistence paid off, and that's something he's just always had throughout his entire life. Lastly, Mitch is somebody who's always stayed true to himself through his entire life. And we always joke with him when we go out to restaurants. before we even look at the menu, we can probably tell you with almost 100% accuracy what Mitch is going to order. It's the same thing every place, plain cheeseburger with fries. His drink of choice, amaretto sour, he has almost everywhere. We used to go and get a new pair of shoes every year before school. And, most people would get a different pair. Mitch got the same pair of blue Asics shoes for probably 10 years in a row. Every single time. But I think what's great, though, is, it's not even just those quirky things about Mitch. Mitch is just saying the same, loyal, true friend, good guy throughout his entire life. And, I think it said a lot that he had, two of his earliest friends in life, and Matt Ostermeyer and Alan Pomeranke, wherever they are, standing up there beside him today. They could probably tell you Mitch hasn't changed a bit since they first met him. And that's just another thing I totally admire about Mitch. And I know the first thing I started out talking with was how happy Mitch is, how he always has a smile on his face. And I think as happy as a guy as Mitch is, I think anyone who's known him can tell you is the happiest he's been is since he's been together with Molly. We could always tell when Mitch was texting Molly or talking to her, he'd always be looking at his phone with this big smile on his face. But, after getting to know Molly the last couple of years, I definitely see why, because I think she's somebody who's just as kind and strong in her faith, and I think a great compliment for Mitch in so many ways. So, with that being said, Mitch, love you, brother. Thanks for being the best big brother I could ask for, and Molly, I couldn't be happier to have you joining our family. So if everyone could raise a toast to the bride and groom, Mitch and Molly, for many years of happiness and laughs. Thank you.
The whole 6 months planning this maid of honor speech, and I quickly realized how I feel about Molly is impossible to wrap up in this little speech. So I'm going to do my best tonight. When I first found out that I was getting a baby sister, I thought to myself, I found a new best friend, but also someone, to blame something on. And although that happened a lot of times, our memories were always filled with giggles, hugs, and secrets. In fact, I'll try to make myself not cry for this, but in fact, one of my favorite probably memories would be when Molly first started elementary school, and she could not go to elementary school without Mom. She would cry every morning. So, of course, being in school, we would always be 2 years apart, and I'd get called down to the office every day, can Kayla please come to the office? Of course, all my friends thought, I was in trouble, but it was just to come down and comfort my sister. Or the times that we were just too scared to sleep alone in our own beds. We would, just share a bed together, and we would get to giggling and laughing and wake Dad up, which is someone you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night because he's very, he likes to sleep. And out of all these things of being a big sister, I've had the privilege to witness your biggest achievements, from your first crawl to your first step, to your first job, to your first love. I am so thankful that God put me in this place to just watch you grow into the beautiful woman you are today. And I could not be so more proud of you than any other big sister in the world. So, with that being said, without crying anymore, I would like to raise our glasses, Mitchell and Molly, and to many more memories to come. I love you, Mitchell. I love you, Molly, so much. And although you're my little sister, we'll never be inseparable. And I just gained a brother. Here's to Mitchell and Molly.
Anywhere near as long as either of those. But I'm just saying, Molly's a big sister I never had. She would spend countless summers at the beaches with us and always having fun. She's sweet little Molly, and I'll always love my big sister.
Hey everyone. Hey.
So I remember all the times when I used to chase Molly around, pulling her ponytail, throwing dirt at her around the farm when we were growing up. And blaming it on my little brother when she started to cry. I'm so proud of the woman that you have become, and I can't wait to see what your new adventures that you're about to start. Mitch, I'm so glad to see that you found such a beautiful woman, and I really want you to take care of her, because if not, I'm going to kick your teeth in, all right? All right. Oh, and we love you. Congratulations.